Hey, welcome back. Chris from the Mighty Decibel here. Welcome back to another edition of our scrapbook series where we're going to be revisiting concerts that we attended between the 70s and 80s. And specifically, this episode, we're going to be looking at 4 concerts that I went to between 1979 and 1982 of the mighty Van Halen. So, as usual, I'll talk a little bit about the experience of the show. As well as get some quotes from the so-called expert critics as well. So let's get her going. As usual, we'll attack this chronologically, and we start in 1979. And this was, I was a 16-year-old. It was my first big venue concert. It was at Maple Leaf Gardens, which is the biggest arena here in Toronto at the time. Holds around 16,000, I think, concert goers, and it was packed. And this was on the Van Halen 2 tour. And a couple of memories I have of this one. One is that I was amazed about how rowdy the crowd was. It was insane for my first concert experience. It was like, holy crap, this looks pretty violent around here. And the other thing that stuck out was the amount of pot that was going around. It was the first time that I ever got high, and I didn't even take a direct drag. There was so much in the air. So the other memory I had is of the band having so much fun. I have a distinct memory of the whole band, of course not Alex, but the rest of the band leapfrogging over each other the breadth of the stage during a song. And I just laughed myself silly at that. So it was an amazing concert. I'll always remember. Your first one, you always remember. But as usual, the stuck-up-the-butt mainstream press, wagged a finger at us heavy metalers. So I'll give you a couple of quotes from a couple of the articles that I have in my scrapbooks. First one, they are the latest in a long line of heavy metal bands which appeals mainly to high school-age males looking for a cartoon macho male image to identify with. I love this one, especially this next one. If Van Halen are calculating enough to know how to fill Maple Leaf Gardens at this point in their careers, they're also wise enough to know that their stay at the top of the heap will be a short one. I think they were wrong. The next run-in I had with the mighty Van Halen was July 18th, 1980 on the Women and Children First tour. And this time, whereas the first time I was up in the Grays as far away as you could be from the band in Maple Leaf Gardens, this time I was on the floors, and it says here that I paid $10.50 for my ticket. Row SS, seat 6. Anyway, unfortunately, I have vague memories of this one. I have a sneaking suspicion that I partook in the beer drinking beforehand a little too excessively, so it's a little blurry. Now, the press had a couple of things to say. One, you can see the actual title here is Overlit Megawatt Mess. And then another one, even called Roth, Fair Fawcett with a bulge, who by promoting his idyllic love 'em and leave 'em boozing and doping lifestyle scores with all the pimply faced losers. Nasty, nasty. 13 months later, in August of 1981, the band were back in town supporting their Fair Warning record. And this time I had gold seats. But the price was still $10.50, same as the year previous. So this one, I distinctly remember being disappointed with the gig. I was tiring of Ross play acting, you know, his calls of, give me a bottle, I've got a drink for Toronto, and this is the best date on the tour, being brought out yet again for the third time in a row now. So honesty never being one of his virtues, I guess. And I also remember the sound of this gig was very sloppy and muddy. And of course, the critics, they sharpened their knives as usual here. So a couple quotes. The first one, the band came to town to prove that they still had nothing to say and a zillion decibels to say it. And the second quote, a Van Halen concert is not for the weak of heart, the weak of hearing perhaps. My fourth run-in with the band was in October of 1982 on the Diver Down tour. So given the downturn in the quality of the albums, this proved to be the last time I checked the band out. I remember going into this gig with minimal expectations, and they were met. Same old pickup lines, muddy sound, and way too much standing around looking for approval from the crowd rather than just playing a damn song. By this point, Roth had become a major deterrent to the band, in my opinion. Of course, the critics didn't like it, as usual. One quote, a band whose stage act consists of something close to an oral lobotomy. And another one said, the sound that roared through the speakers last night at Maple Leaf Gardens was immensely loud and extremely muddled, reduced to little more than a megaton throb of bass guitar. Unfortunately, I'd come to the conclusion that maybe the critics were right. So looking back on the 4 concerts that I went to, my growing apathy towards the band, I guess, could be reflected in my advancing age. I went from 16 to 20 years old over that period, and I was getting into more underground versions of metal. And then there was the staleness about the Van Halen show and too much showiness rather than playing music. And of course, the deteriorating albums didn't help either. So that pushed me off the Van Halen bandwagon. I guess they were just a little bit too sloppy and cartoony live, and on record were becoming obstinately lazy and overly concerned with radio exposure. I guess they weren't a heavy metal band anymore, in my opinion. So bye-bye Van Halen in my mind. Anyway, thanks for joining, and remember to check in every Monday for our new release Monday episodes. Tuesdays we have our In 40 Minutes episodes. Then Wednesdays we have live and concert reviews, and Thursdays we have best of, top 10s, that sort of thing. So have a great one, eh? Bye.